Me. Welcome to another episode of Do You Really Know God? This episode will cover Noah's Ark. We're going to start off with Hebrews 11:7. By faith, Noah, being warned by God about things not yet seen, and reverence prepared an ark for the salvation of his household, by which he condemned the world and became an heir of the righteous, which is according to faith. That being said, this is something that a story I can actually believe quite a bit. When it comes to Noah's Ark, he was building the ark because he's told by God to build the ark. He's told exactly how to build the ark, what wood to use to build the ark. He's told how to coat the ark. Yeah. He's even told how many rooms and stalls and what animals to put in, how many of each. When he was building the ark, now mind you, this he didn't build it overnight. It took him many years to build it. All the townspeople was mocking him, saying, "Why are you building an ark here in the desert? Why do you need a boat?" And he warned the people. He's like, "Hey, times are coming. God's getting upset. He's gonna cause a great flood." And they're all like, "Yeah, okay, you're crazy, old man." And they kind of all laughed at him till the day came when the water started coming. Now, guess what? They were not laughing no more. He was locked in the ark.
And one thing a lot of people don't realize is, and it says this in the story, um, it's not like the flood just came in. It's not like it swept in. The flood came from raining. It started like you woke up one morning and it was a thunderstorm, and it just didn't stop.
Yep.
And
Coming and coming.
and the water got the town and everything got flooded. I think it was what 40 feet high.
Yep.
Something like that. Now think of how much water that is. Like I was telling someone about it, and my freshman year of high school, I sat at a lunch table with Isaiah and a bunch of other of our friends, and one of them, or a few of them actually, were atheists, and one of them was a big Christian, and we're just sitting there and we're talking. We used to talk about all kinds of different stuff, but that day we decided to talk about Bible stuff, which we did every once in a while. And I think a movie had just come out, and it was called Noah or something like that. And so one of the atheists actually went to go see it, and for whatever reason, and he came in, he was like, "Yeah, that was an awesome movie, all this and that." And so the really big Christian, his name was Ben. He goes, "Are you telling me the atheist went to go see a Christian movie and enjoyed it?" And was kind of like mocking him a little bit. And so he goes, "Oh, it's not a Christian movie." And he goes, "Yeah, that's Noah's Ark, like one of the biggest Bible stories out there." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, I thought it seemed familiar. And he's like, "It was a really good movie, but it could never happen." And he goes, "Well, what do you mean it could never happen?" He's like, "Well, think about it. Because in the movie, I've never seen the movie personally. Well, apparently in the movie, they did it right and the rain started falling. But you have to think about it this way: is it wasn't like it was sprinkling. It wasn't like it was raining, kind of hard. This rain had to be coming down fast and hard. Because think about it, and this was his main argument. He said there's no rain that can flood the earth because of the amount of rain it would have to be and how quickly it would have to fall. And my friend Ben, he just looks at me and goes, "You gotta remember who you're dealing with. This is God. I mean, if he wanted, he could just flood everything instantly." He said he took the nice way. He let him live for a couple more days.
He gave a warning to.
Yeah, Yeah.
Hello, if you want to live, you better do something quick.
Yeah, but that's one thing that a lot of people, as I talked to him, and I've talked to more people who thought similar things, that either just a flood came through, or that it's impossible because of the amount of rain you would need and all this and that. It was it was honestly, and mind you, this all happened in the span of 40 days as well. I believe it was 40 days, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 40 days, which is a month and a half, give or take.
Which, if you quite remember, is the amount of time that Jesus did his fasting in the wilderness.
Right. But it was about a month and a half, a little bit less. And think about this. You know how big the Earth is. I don't know the exact. I think it's like 5,000 something. No, 500,000 something miles long or diameter, something like that. I read it in science one time. But that's just one trip around. Now you got to do that a ton of times, up and down, right? So let's, now obviously these are rough figures. I have no clue what I'm saying as far as scientifically and stuff. But let's say the world, the Earth, is, I don't know, 3 billion feet squared or cubed, whatever it is, right? I'm way out of my own right now. But the amount of water you would need to fill that in 40 days, like, I don't even know if you can classify it as rain. Like, that's really just sheets of water falling from the sky. And I know, like, what was it? Was it yesterday or the day before, the rain we had here?
Yesterday.
It was like, and now if anyone knows anything about North Carolina weather, 1 second you're out, so yeah, it got really wet.
It got wetter.
But 1 minute you're outside, it's all sunny and nice. Next minute it starts sprinkling, and by the time you can make it back to your back door, it's downpouring. That was one of the biggest things I had to adjust to coming down here. And but it was like a torrential downpour. If you've ever, one thing that kind of reminds me of it a little bit is the movie Day After Tomorrow. Yeah. All the hard, heavy rain. Now, mind you, this wasn't freezing rain, but
well, they were you at first,
right? Or even it was the storm of the century. Had like a massive hurricane coming. And if anyone's ever been in a hurricane and stuff like that, that's exactly what it was for 40 days and 40 nights. And if you're from the North Carolina area, I know us personally in Rayford, when Matthew came through, that only lasted a day or two. It was like, what, maybe 3 days at the most that it lasted. And I remember a whole school getting shut down for the rest of the year because all their stuff was flooded. Now imagine that for 40 days. But I'll let you.
you could. So you gotta think about so much different things. I am sure it doesn't talk about in the Bible other survivors other than Noah. But
Well, that was his family.
That was his family. But I would imagine the other survivors in the world. Okay, I'm sure when the rain started coming, there's fishermen running to the boats. Anybody who had a boat, we running to the boat. But where Noah lived, there was no boat because there's no water. They lived in the middle of the desert.
No, I would argue. So this is actually, I was going to ask you this. You said, and the Bible says that God told Noah exactly how to build it and everything like that. I wonder if Noah would have gotten one thing wrong. Like maybe he used the wrong type of wood, or maybe he didn't make it as big, or whatever. You think it would have sunk? Maybe. You think God would have sunk it?
Here's the other thing. The ark that Noah built was 100% sealed. Once he was in, he was sealed. So that thing could roll over, could flip, or whatever. It didn't matter. It wasn't sinking. It was sealed. It had to be Russian to fit. Now, after Noah entered the ark, after all the animals was in, his family was in, and he entered the ark, God himself sealed the door shut. So that could little aspect to the whole twist of it, everything, and why it was. Maybe a regular boat would have flooded along with the
I
rain.
feel like with the rain it would, yeah.
So it's hard to say. I mean, I would like to think in my head that there was some smart people that kind of said, "Hey, let's build a boat. Let's have it get a boat.
Yeah.
Maybe go turn over and suffer out and lived."
And with the rain too is, or what I will say the water. Another thing I found that people believe is that it was just calm water. It was just the people who do believe in the rain but still don't believe in the story. It was just calm water, just whatever. But there was wind, there was waves. Like if you were in an old fisherman boat, you were sinking. No ifs, ands, or buts. But another thing about it is you gotta think about it like this. Look at the ocean and the tides and the waves and things like that, right? Those were all being combined into this. It's not like God dried up all the ocean and said, all right, let's start from scratch. It was everything you got from the ocean melted into this rain. Because really what happened, I can only assume, is the oceans began to flood over. Yeah. And I actually
Oceans and lakes flooded over.
yeah. And I actually the TikTok I was telling you about the guy talking about Noah's Ark and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question for you based on that. He said, "Why did God not kill the fish?" Because so for reference, I was watching TikTok over this past weekend, and it was talking about Noah's Ark, and um, the guy talking, saying stuff about it was pretty much like, what did all the animals do? Were the animals committing sin? They need to die too, and why only bring two of them? All this stuff. But another point you mentioned, I forgot to tell you earlier, was he knows the fish didn't die. They were loving it.
Yeah, they had room of everything. But I mean, the sin was not against the animals, and it wasn't against the fish or any of them. It was against man. The reason why the animals had to die is because you can only fit so many animals on an ark. So that's why God instructed Noah, grab two of each species and get them on the ark.
Yeah, yeah.
So they can reproduce and recreate.
But you gotta remember, he's God. He could give him snorkels or something. I mean, come on, that was kind of a mean move there.
There you go. Oh my God. Swimming with the fish.
Yeah, right. That would add a whole new dynamic to our ocean life.
But using this Noah's Ark story, I think is very powerful story in many different ways that can be looked at in today's world.
Yeah.
A lot of people call other people who sit there saying the end times are coming or this is coming or that's coming. You know, people thought Noah was crazy for saying that. Everybody like crazy old man, why are you building an ark? You're in the middle of the desert. And he's like, because God's gonna be punishing us and creating a flood. And I'm like, yeah, okay, crazy man.
Yeah, and I mean, even there's a lot of things based on that. Is that I mean, I mean, I've never personally really seen it myself because I've never really lived in a big city or anything like that. But based on movies and like actual videos from big cities I've seen and stuff like that, there's a lot of people, especially like around 2012 and stuff like that, where they're standing on the corners, the end is nigh, the end is nigh, and screaming, and everyone's calling them crazy and just whatever. But and same thing with false prophets. Like anyone can really step up and say, "I'm Jesus." Nobody would know the difference.
Or anybody can actually say God speaks to them.
Yeah, and nobody can tell them that's not the truth because honestly, nobody will ever know until the time comes. And that's one of the things for me is so hard and scary about being a Christian is God has said there's going to be false prophets. But how do you know which ones are false? That's the question. Because look at David Koresh with the whole Waco thing. He knew that Bible inside and out. And as an outsider who was not in the facility, who saw all the weird things he had going on, you would never know because you just see a little snippet of his sermon or whatever he gave one Sunday, and this dude don't even have a Bible up there. He's just up on stage saying Galatians 5:15 and you know and quoting it out, and you can go back to your own Bible and hey, he's right. That's exactly what it
Here's
says.
the thing though, with David Koresh, and I know I'm gonna get people hating me on this. He was not ever really a false prophet. He never ever taught anything false as far as his teaching on God. Where he went wrong was he used it to create a community where he was in control and he basically had sex with all the women and the guys had to sleep on the outside of the compound. That was nothing to do with God.
Right. But and that's the thing though, is the outsiders don't really know, and once you're in, you're in. Like I don't know. So I know I do a lot of research and stuff on culture and whatnot, and I'm not super keen on the whole Waco situation. I don't even know what they're called to be honest. I haven't done a whole lot of research into that one. That's one of the next ones I actually plan on doing.
That's a really good one. The Waco incident is a very sad, sad story.
Yeah, I mean I've seen the movie Waco, and I know generally what's going on.
Well, first part of it is David Koresh was doing absolutely nothing wrong, nothing illegal. Yes, he convinced people to let him have sex with their wives and whatever. Convinced them that he was the only one that could reproduce with them. But that's just people being stupid.
Yeah.
But as far as his Bible teaching, he was spot on. He taught the Bible accurately. He taught the way of God.
Right.
And I strongly believe he had an ability. He just abused his powers. But he had an ability because he created from nothing this village. They hand built the house themselves. They created a whole village. And the only reason why the ATF went after him is because he's buying and selling guns a lot. That's how he made his money. He bought guns and sold them. That's the only reason why they went after him. And the only other reason, like, there's a lot of gun dealers who probably a lot more guns than David Cross ever bought and sold them. The only reason why they went after him is he wasn't a 1 or 2 man operation. He had a whole community.
Right. And but there's so I do know a little bit on this part of it, but the ATF was um, very weary of them because they were a big community with a lot of guns, and they saw all the trading, buying, and selling, and all that. But just the fact of them being a big community with that many guns that don't rely on the government, that was one of the biggest things. The Waco compound did not rely on the government for anything. Yeah. And like David Koresh and all the people he had helping them, they had all their permits, they had all their background checks. They were all perfectly fine people. And like Dad said, what happened was very sad and a very big misjudgment on the government's part.
Here's the problem with that whole situation. You had the government trying to waive their power. The government's always trying to take everybody's weapons.
Well, even I was watching actually an interview. A lot of the ATF agents that were out there very much said that they didn't know why they were out there.
None of them did. They had an FBI agent on the inside with David Koresh who actually tried to stop the ATF from going in and saying, hey, no, this ain't what needs to happen. This is not what's going on.
Yeah.
And they basically ignored him and actually fired him for trying to stop him.
Yeah. But to get away from Waco a little bit, just what I was saying as far as cults in general is with these, almost every cult out there claims to be God. Almost every cult out there, actually, everyone I've ever even heard of, except for one, which was the Satanists. It was a legit cult back in like the 70s of Satanists and all that. But they used religion as a grasping point. And what these cults do is, in the cult leaders, essentially the same thing as Satan. They do exactly what Satan does. He finds the weak. He finds the ones who are having trouble. Finds the ones with mommy issues or needs some help with money or does what is in need of anything at any given point.
Find you at your weak point.
Yeah, and that's when they come in. And just like they say Satan is smooth talking, these cults are too. And it's, like I said, as a Christian, it's one of the most scary and hardest things to do is because if you're at a low point and you're praying for God to send you someone or to help you with this, help you with that, and then all of a sudden some person dressed nice, very
Good.
very well spoken, looks like they have their whole life together, and they're offering you that help. A lot of Christians, I actually was reading this one story from boy, I can't remember the name. It's in California. There's this cult. Well, they call it a cult, but it's not necessarily a cult. But it's a church that is was started by an Asian American, and his son ended up taking over, and it went from like a church, and kind of like what everyone viewed to be as a cult almost, even though they weren't doing cultish things. To when the son took over, it's basically like a militia cult now, and like the guy who runs it, he sits there. He actually has a podcast, which I've seen a few episodes of. And if you want a good laugh, it's funny. I can't remember what it's called, but he sits there and he has this throne, and he sits there. And he has guns all over the wall. He's holding guns. He's talking all about how God. He talks. It's his sermons. He talks about God, and everything he says is about guns, and about how you need to have protection. The government,
kind of know.
the government has actually looked into him because there was a few statements he had made about negatively about the government, and they thought it was going to be another Waco situation, or not Waco situation, but another. Yeah. They had the same thinking, and somehow they avoided that.
I don't know how, because the thing is about the Waco situation, David Koresh wanted no trouble.
Yeah,
He just wanted to live in peace with his family.
And he never said anything against the government either.
Yeah.
But he somehow avoided it. I'm not exactly sure what happened. But
probably because the government got so much mud on their face between David Koresh and then just before that was I can't remember the thing, but
the family in Mississippi or something.
In the mountains, like yeah. When they invaded that and killed the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But so these cults, what they do is before you realize it, you're in way deeper. But this person I was talking about, she was a very devout Christian. She actually grew up. Her family was Baptist, and she was from California. And she said she had moved out on her own, and like almost every Christian, that I'm kind of debating whether to raise my daughter Christian, like strictly Christian, because everyone I've ever met that has been raised that way has that point where they just go wild, where
that's natural for any religion. Even right. The Amish, you gotta look at the Amish.
Well, the
Amish, when you turn 16, you're allowed to do whatever you want. Amish kids at 16 go out in America and act and live like Americans.
Yeah.
They can have TVs, they can have electricity, they can drive a car, they can drive a license, they can do whatever they want. But they have to give it all up when they decide to become Amish. And they don't have to do it at a certain age. They prefer you to do it by the time you're 21. You become a full Amish, but you don't have to. There's been Amish that actually did do it till they're 30. Finally said, you know what? Yeah, I'm going back to my Amish.
Well, if Amish is ready to go, Amish is God's people. I'm gonna wait till my deathbed. I couldn't be Amish. I really couldn't. Honestly. Anyway, but so she had this period where she was doubting God a lot, and she had moved out on her own because she had expressed her kind of doubts to her family. Her family was very strictly Christian, and if you questioned God, you were sinful, you were wrong, which is wrong on her family in the first kind of just feeling alone in this. She had met a friend of hers. I think she was doing volunteer work or something like that. She had met this person, and they're like, "Oh, don't all your fears, all your everything."
Is this a movie?
No, I don't think so.
Movie. Yeah, I've seen a movie like this.
I mean,
Anyway.
she may have a movie based on it, but and she was saying this friend, she gradually became friends with this person, where they exchanged phone numbers when at the volunteer thing. They were like, let's hang out sometime. You seem pretty cool. And then so they hung out once and didn't talk for months. And then this person reached out to her again and said, hey, I liked it when we had lunch. We should go have lunch again. Whatever. I think we could be good friends. And so they ended up building a friendship over, I think it was a course of like a year and a half. And finally, the girl was like, you know what? I know you're not super into the church and all that. I know you've had bad experiences, but I really think you like my church. And so she's like, okay, cool. She went to church with her, and it seemed very normal. It was a little standoffish, only because almost everyone in the church was carrying a gun. And there was a few things that are a little weird, but you're just kind of like, you know what? Everyone does their own thing. Maybe it's nothing crazy. And then she actually got into the church. She became a volunteer at the church, and it wasn't until she was so fed with this sweet talk. She was so fed with everything they could do that she ended up moving into the compound that they stay on. It's all cult type compound. I don't know what that's about.
I don't like.
Right? That sounds
How do you afford
good.
But anyways.
Not running a business.
Yeah.
But she moved on to the compound. She actually became roommates with this lady, and she said they had the time of their lives for a good 2 to 3 years. And then finally, one morning, she said she believed this was God talking to her. She had a dream about basically everything on the compound turning bad. And she had a dream about how the leader went crazy, and rather than being the church and everything that they were, they became an actual militia and started terrorizing the United States. And she said she woke up in cold sweats and she couldn't believe it. And she said that in the dream she was part of it. She was all for it. And she went back to her hometown. She ended up was ordered to kill her family because they were not part of it. And she said she got cold sweats and was so like scared and everything. And she ended up somehow escaping. And she sat there and she realized from the outside, until you see the horror, until your brain fully registers how bad everything really is, you don't know. Like some of these people on these compounds, or like I've heard a few about Mormonism too, which I'm not sure if Mormonism is a cult, but you don't realize it until your brain finally wakes up. She said she thought it was God talking to her, saying, "Hey, this is bad. You need to get out of here." And she actually went back to her parents and was like, "Hey, I'm sorry. Like, I want to get back together. I want to get back in your house, and I want to get back on my feet. I want to go to your church. I want to be part of the family. This and that." But that's the thing with. I know it's a long tangent. That's the thing. Kinda. But that's the thing with these people, and these false prophets, and these people claiming the end times. Is as a Christian, it's such a slippery slope.
It is. It's a touchy thing that you gotta look at.
Because you're taught from the Bible, and you're taught from your pastors and everything that there will be another coming of Jesus, and that but at the same time there will be false prophets. You're taught that there will be an end time, but again, there's gonna be false prophets.
But here's what you gotta do. This is how you weave through them. Is one, read Book of Revelation. Book of Revelation talks a lot about the end times in severe detail.
And if you haven't seen it, we have 2 episodes on it.
Yep. here's the thing. Mind you, like when people say, "Hey, end times are near," or whatever, question them. Get facts from them. Get some insight about them, why they feel end times are coming. But number two, open your eyes. Everything around us is in front of you. It's up to you to see it. Now, what's going on a lot in the times right now? My beliefs and my looks, we are coming to the end times. The end times are coming. They're no, coming. Am I gonna tell you they're coming tomorrow? No, I don't know that. They might come tomorrow. They might come 200 years from now. But the start of it is on its way. So these guys saying the end is near, they're not lying. It is. They just don't know when.
They don't know when.
They just know it's coming. But I also know it's coming.
And we had talked about this a few times too. Is you can look at it to back your point up. You can look at it. There's I can't remember what episode we talked about, but I want to say Isaiah was part of it back before he moved here. But we talked about the mark of the beast, and the mark of the beast. Don't know what it is. Per the Bible, it doesn't say. It doesn't tell you exactly what it is. But basically, it's something that will be implanted into you, and it signifies the end times when people start getting planted with this. And if you get the mark of the beast, you cannot go to heaven because it is basically you saying you worship Satan. Which, so personally, I believe we know Satan's a very slippery. He's sly. He's sly. He knows how to get you to do something without you realizing you're doing it. And here's the ATS knocking at our door. But anyway, there's just he's so good with what he does, and I remember we were talking about this, and at the time it was a big thing. I don't know if it's still a big thing, but I think it was in China. It started. People were getting microchips.
But Bill Gates was pushing for everybody to be microchipped.
Well, so in China, there were certain companies that were doing it. If you're an employee, you had to have a microchip in your hand or something like that, so to unlock doors and whatnot, you put a chip in. And Bill Gates,
and Dr. Fushi was pushing for everybody to be microchipped.
Yeah, was pushing for that, and that's how America runs and stops immigration.
Dr. Fushi or Bill Gates is Satan. But go on.
I don't fully believe that. I have other ideas. But anyway, that's another episode.
Who is Satan? That's an episode.
Well,
Who is Satan of today?
We can't name it that because we've already done like 2 episodes named Who is Satan. I know
We'll say Who is Satan of today?
Who is the Antichrist? But anyway, and they were pushing for that. And I remember we brought it up because I read an article on it, and a lot of Christians were saying that's the mark of the beast. That's the mark of the beast, which may be a fact because everything with that microchip actually lined up with the mark of the beast. But I mean, look at where we're at now. I haven't even heard anything about it for over a year.
That's because it got shut down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because if they did not shut that down, they could be marking bullets.
Well, in
The
China,
government knew that marking the bullets outweighed the mark of the beast.
I'm not sure how it happened in China, but I know they were talking about it. Actually, I was watching another podcast on it, and they had been talking about it. And one person was like, "Well, if you work for this company, you get this chip implanted into your hand or something like that. Do you have to rip it out?" And they said the company gives you 2 options. You can either go in and cut it out, or they just cut your hand off. And I mean, I'm sorry, any company or anything that can get a microchip, I'm immediately cutting my hand off. But I tell you that you get a microchip
For a fifth dimension.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Only way you can get logged into a computer, you have to rub your hand on
it. How many times I go on the computer? I wouldn't even have to cut it out. I'd just rub my skin raw by like the second day. I'd be like, oh, there's the chip. But those things like the mark of the beast is you don't know what it's gonna be, and that's the thing that I actually hate about the Bible is especially in Revelation they tell you they describe an insect to you in detail, but they can't tell you what to look out for.
I can tell you
when it
if
comes
this
to
mosquito with freaking armor on and a helmet and a shield and a freaking sword with a freaking scorpion tail comes through. Yeah. Check, please, I'm out.
yeah, right. But no, the locust, which is pretty much a grasshopper, but it's like yoked. Like it's got muscles for days, like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and it's got all this Spartan armor on. Well, that's how.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Spartan armor on. It has
got
like
a freaking
gold sword,
and it has a scorpion tail.
Yeah, and all these things. You can describe that to the color for me, but you can't tell me what the mark of the beast is. Like that's what I gotta be looking out for, or who the Antichrist is.
I don't care if I see these freaking mutant boys coming. I'm out, man.
But at that point, it's already too late because the mark of the beast would have already come, and the Antichrist.
But I'm gone. I don't care. I'm gone. See you. Check, please. You're all on your own.
But back to Noah's Ark is, I know it's a very short story, so it's hard to make it a full podcast.
But actually, there's a lot of detail.
There is a lot of detail.
I mean, the biggest part, like, I didn't know this for the longest time. Did you know Noah was about 140 years old at the time that
I did. I learned that when I was actually in my room one night when I was listening to the Bible app.
So it's not like he was a young man doing this. So you got a picture, he was very old.
Well, back in those days, I think that was considered probably about middle age.
No, that was old.
No, you gotta think about it, because like Adam and Eve, they lived until they're like 600, 700, something like that, and then their kids slowly died out. And like I think Noah ended up living to be 300 something years old. Yeah. So I mean, he's about my age doing it.
But you gotta figure, all these townspeople are like, what's this old bastard? He built a senile bastard building a boat in the middle of the desert. What the hell is wrong with him?
Well, that's another thing is you look at it and like I said, I think Noah lived to be 300 something years old, and all these townspeople were they living to the same age? Because you don't hear nothing about them. All these townspeople, you gotta think if a dude went to school with my grandfather, my great grandfather, and he's still kicking around building an ark, I'm gonna believe what he says.
I wouldn't think that everybody lived that age. I don't think everybody lived that age. There's been a few, but you didn't talk about everybody living.
Well, I think it was up to it was either it was like the second or third generation after Noah they started dying at relatively what we call normal now. Yeah. It's like in their hundreds,
Your sin. Here's your promise. Sin has created a lot. Originally with Adam and Eve, we were supposed to never die.
And actually I heard I don't know if I sent this to you while I was at drugs watching TikTok. And it was a like mini sermon type thing. And I thought it was amazing. It was what you just said reminded me of it. You think about it, we were never supposed to die, right? Adam and Eve only committed one sin. And they lived to be 900 something years old. Cain and Abel and all that, they committed a few sins. And they died younger. And every generation, you die younger. You look at it, every generation commits more sins, and every generation dies younger. And so you got to think about it now. Our average lifespan, and this is what's crazy, is per this TikTok, the average lifespan back in like the 70s was in your 80s, your 90s. The average lifespan nowadays is in your 60s. Yeah. And you got to think about it. How much more sin is coming into the world, or being committed in today's world? That's one thing I never put into correlation. Like, I never thought about it that way.
We're simple people. We're our own demise. So you gotta think about it. When you're seeing that old man on the side of the road, or backyard, that hoarder certain things, and you're like, man, look at that crazy old man. No, he didn't talk to God. God ain't telling him to do that. Because you know for a fact he's telling people, like, hey, look at that crazy cool bastard. Spends every night after work building this boat out in the desert. What are you going to do with it? Go sand fishing? So,
Is that what you guys used to say back in the day?
yeah, go sand fishing. So you got to look at using that into today's day. Some of these crazy old men, women, or crazy old people, you think it's crazy for what they're doing, why they do what they do? They may have some. You might want to open your eyes a little bit and question how much you're going to joke about it because it may be something that could actually save your life someday.
Yeah.
Uh,
But again, be cautious.
very cautious with it because, yeah, there's a lot of just crazy old people.
And I know this was a comment section I used before. I don't think we have too many answers on this one, but it is a very hard question to answer. Is if someone came to you right now and said, "I am Jesus," would you laugh at them? Would you keep walking, or would you believe them? And that's what I was kind of. I think you had said that as a comment section a while back.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And but it's just the thing of, and it goes back to my point a little bit on how confusing and scary it can be, is because like that one show you watched, Messiah, I think it was called,
Yeah.
where Jesus legitimately came back and everyone basically made a big laughing stock of him and was like, "No, you're not Jesus," but he was.
And they're trying to prove him as like some manipulator drug addict type.
Yeah, and
They even got to the point where one of the congressmen or something like that, who actually agreed to meet with him and all that, actually got a prostitute to go to his room to try and seduce him
mhm.
to prove that he was not Jesus. If he had sex with a prostitute, he wouldn't be Jesus.
Yeah, but that's the thing is you got to take it in very little strides and you got to be very careful about it. And I honestly think that this is a little bit of personal advice that may or may not be true. But I feel that if Jesus were to legitimately come back and come to somebody and say, "Hey, I am Jesus," I don't think it'd just be some guy walking down the street.
I can tell you right now, it says right in the Bible, when Jesus returns, next time he returns, you're not gonna deny him.
Yeah.
It's gonna be said. Now they don't say exactly how he's gonna do it, but it is said when he returns, he's gonna announce himself to the world simultaneously.
Yep.
So to me, my image is there's gonna be a big face of Jesus all over the sky saying, "Hey, I'm Jesus. I'm back, bitches."
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I wake up one morning, there's just a big head of Jesus in the sky. I'm like, I got time for this today. I ain't got time for this today.
But I feel when he comes back, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be some little carpenter, street boy, or whatever walking through life saying, "Hey, follow me." It's gonna be, I'm back, and I mean business. I died on that cross for your sins, and look what you did. You turned around, you spit in my face, you stomped all over everything I'd given you. You doubted me. You have not spread my name. So now guess what? End time to here. Boom.
And he's gonna finish it. I'm not mad. I'm
You eating Tide Pods. Put that down. I didn't die for you to eat a Tide Pod.
disappointed. Just sit there and be like, I can imagine some kid just sitting there like, Tide Pods.
So you gotta understand that with the story of Moses, it's a real good story too.
Noah.
Story of Noah is a really good story in the Bible that I think everybody should read because the content in it, a lot of it can come into today. Like things to watch out for. There's a lot of stuff in the book of Noah that you could actually learn and use for today. Signs to look at. you right now, God talks to every single person on this planet. He's talking to you. He's talking to me. He's talking to Devin. He's talking to.
He's probably talking to you
everybody.
right now.
He's talking to us. It's whether or not we're hearing and listening. Noah was one that was one with God, and he actually listened. He's very righteous, and he listened. And when God spoke, he listened. He did not try and argue with him or try and say, "Come on, God, just give me $1 million, man. Come on, no, just $1 million. I don't want to build this ark. Just give me $1 million. I'll be happy to die. Just give me $1 million." He actually listened to God. To build Noah's ark, God gave such specific instructions on the type of wood to use, the type of rooms, how big the rooms, how many rooms, how many stalls, and what animals, and what people, and everything about what was allowed on the ark and what went into the ark, what dimensions to make it. I mean, everything. God gave him specs right down to the T for everything. So he did it. And people thought he was crazy, and look how they turned out. When God really has a plan for you, and I feel that if Jesus ever comes back, he's gonna have that same, hey, I'm here now. I'm here for good bitches. You're gonna listen to me. This is how it's gonna go. And y'all dead. Sorry about the bitch. But I feel that next time Jesus comes, it's not gonna be a shepherd boy walking up saying, "Follow me." It's gonna be he's coming in for him. You're not gonna know. You can't say, "Was Jesus? Who is that?" No, you're gonna know it's Jesus. And if you deny him, you're really gonna know what Satan's like. He will not take a step to deny. But the book about Noah's Ark is such a fascinating thing.
It's in Genesis.
Yes, it's such a fascinating read because the story is so petite that you think about different things you see, like that crazy old man holding that sign saying, "The end is near." Okay, yeah, he may be a crazy dude. He ain't lying. The end is near. It's coming. It's gonna come someday. But look at his life behind. What is he doing outside holding that sign on the street corner? What is he doing behind the scenes? You want to know who's talking to God? Look what they're doing when they're not in the public eye. Look behind the scenes. Noah was very clearly talking to God. I mean, he was in private building an ark to a certain extent. He told people, "Hey, God told me to build it." And he's building to a certain extent. Out in the desert with no water around. Right there, I don't know about you, but I'm like, claim God tell. And yet he's spending day and night building this humongous ship out in the middle of the desert. Maybe I should stop thinking maybe build for myself a little boat. Just in case. Because it's better be safe than sorry. Actually, hold on one second. On Noah's Ark, when he made that, it is, hold on. Genesis 6:14. Make for yourself an ark. Oh, go forward. You shall make the ark with rooms. You shall cover it inside and out with pitch. He did not leave details out. That's only one verse. Certain things he wanted to make it. He had to make it with go forward. Then he had to cover it with pitch. Go forward, if you don't know, certain type of wood they had in that area back then. It wasn't like a tree. Well, it was a tree, but it was like pots of tree type of thing. Because there wasn't a lot of trees in the desert, obviously. And pitch is like kind of like a stain. If you even know what pitch is back then, it was like a type of you walked in and God actually came down and sealed the door himself. So with that being said, what do you want for your comment?
Mine's gonna be a little different. Um, but mine is semi-related to the podcast. My comment section is: what is your favorite Bible story? There's been a few times on here where we covered stories. Like we covered the story of the Samaritan woman. We covered the story of the 40 days. This one we're doing Noah's Ark. There's been a few times where we actually just covered basically what a story in the Bible is and what it means. So, what is yours? Or, and in turn, what is one you want us?
I would say one of my favorites. I would say the Samaritan Woman.
Yeah,
I really like that story.
I like the.
But that's Jesus coming up.
Yeah.
That, to me, that is that the day of the Samaritan woman is the day that Jesus said, "I'm gonna save your soul."
Mm-hmm.
Like Jewel said, "I'm gonna save your soul."
Personally, I like. I don't know the legit name of the story, but I call it Super Hot Fire. And that's because when I first heard it, it was in a sermon titled Super Hot Fire, and that one was basically when the three, I believe they were Israelites.
Oh yeah. The three people in the oven.
Yeah, with Nebuchadnezzar, and he came down and was like, "Worship me," and they said no. He's like, "All right, well, let me throw you in this really hot fire."
Two or three people on fire, what they see four people moving.
Yeah, they seen four people moving, and they were actually having a conversation. They weren't burning up, nothing like that. And when they reopened the oven and walked out, and there was just the three men, and they weren't burnt, nothing. But
That is a good story too.
I
Same
like
with that
that.
story of Daniel
Oh, the lion's
in
den.
the lion pit. Same
Yeah,
thing. I like that one. That was another.
that's a very good one as well.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
There's so many great stories in the Bible. I mean, we could go on for hours and hours and
Oh
hours
yeah.
about different stories that they had in the Bible. That it's just so much that just shows if you believe in God and you put your faith in God just right, He's good. He's there for you. He has your back.
Yeah.
He wants to help you. He's waiting to help you. He's hoping to help you. But you gotta let Him. He's not gonna force Himself on you.
Mm-hmm.
So, my comment section, kind of a
Why do you even say kind of?
first part is if God came to you right now, said to you, you build an ark, you make it to these dimensions using this wood, cover it with this, here's everything I want you to make it with. Then when you make it, you fill it with these animals and your family. And you need to make it within the next 50 years. And you gotta do it yourself, make it by hand. Knowing that it's gonna take you probably the next 50 years to make it. Because it's so massive, so huge, and so detailed of everything that you gotta do. So you're gonna be spending every waking moment that you have free making this ship. Would you do it? Would you actually sacrifice the next 50 years of your life to make a ship that God told you to make?
If I had 50 years left,
Well, obviously, if he told you 50 years, you got 50 years.
you know how mad I'd be if I finished it on like the last day of the 50 years and God was just like, "Okay, good job." I did.
Part two of my little thing is if you've seen, say, somebody like Noah making a ship or something to that effect, and you question them about making a ship, and they say, God instructed me to do this. What would your reaction to that be? What's that?
I like that. Nope. It's okay. I'm having my work t-shirt.
What?
No.